Dear Libra, you must not let anyone touch you on August 31st. Not even casually. Not even in love. The final days of August are not just sacred, they are charged with divine significance, and your energy is more vulnerable than you realize. That's not fear talking. That's precision. That's spiritual clarity. If you've been feeling unusually sensitive lately, if your energy has been fluctuating without reason, if you've been craving solitude while the world seems louder than ever, you are not imagining it. You're being prepared. A divine seal is forming around your aura. And August 31st is the final stamp. This is not just another day, Libra. It's the final calibration of your soul's frequency before September's doors open wide. The universe is sealing your light, the healing you've done, the clarity you've earned, the peace you fought for. And any contact, even from someone you love, can smudge what took you so long to purify. You're here for a reason. The pull that brought you to this video was not random. It was alignment. It was spirit saying, listen carefully. This message is for you. Libra, your gift is your openness, but in these final days, openness becomes your greatest risk. You're a mirror, reflecting the world around you. But during cosmic thresholds like this, that mirror must be turned inward. This is your time to reflect only yourself, not absorb others. Even their worries. Even their love. And yes, I know it's not easy to set energetic boundaries with people you care about. You're ruled by Venus, connection runs in your blood. But the truth is, this is not about rejection. It's about protection. This is not about fear. It's about frequency. The universe is tuning your vibration to match what's coming next. A single energetic leak through touch, words, or even emotional entanglement can delay what was meant to arrive right on time. So today, I'm not just here to read your horoscope. I'm here to help you protect it. And Libra, I ask you, what have you done this past month that you know deserves to be sealed, not scattered? What breakthrough have you earned that is finally ready to crystallize? Comment below and declare it. Write, my energy is sacred. I do not allow uninvited access. Or choose a number that's been following you lately: 111, 333, 717, and post it to activate your field of protection. Now, before we go deeper, let me take a moment to say thank you, not out of routine, but out of reverence. Thank you for showing up here. Thank you for your presence, your attention, and your trust. Every like, every comment, and every subscribe you offer is more than support. It's a signal to the universe that you're ready to step into alignment with your highest path. And I mean it when I say this, your presence gives this channel life. So please, stay with me until the end of this message. Because what I'm about to reveal to you, especially for August 31st, is more than insight, it is a divine instruction. And if you follow it, you'll step into September not just prepared, but spiritually armored. Now tell me, Libra, what called you here today? It may not seem like it at first glance, but August 31st is not just the end of a calendar page, it is a spiritual seal, a cosmic boundary line, a moment that holds more energetic weight than many realize. For Libra, a sign ruled by balance, harmony, and air, this moment arrives like a gentle breeze that carries a sacred whisper. You've come too far this month to let the energy you've purified be touched, distorted, or redirected. That's what this phase is truly about: energetic integrity. You've been clearing, refining, praying, journaling, forgiving, releasing, and choosing alignment over distraction. Now, you are being asked not to restart the process, but to protect it. In the language of astrology, this day is marked by high resonance. When planets align to amplify frequency, especially those governing boundaries, like Saturn, hidden knowledge, like Neptune, and identity, like the Sun, it is not merely an invitation to be cautious, it's a calling to stand watch. Your frequency has been rising throughout August, and like a vessel holding sacred water, your aura is now full and fragile. Think of it like a still lake, clear, calm, yet easily disrupted by even the smallest ripple. The spiritual science behind energy transfer through touch is not just theoretical. It's deeply practical. When someone hugs you, touches your shoulder, or even lingers too long in your field, they are consciously or not engaging in a transaction. That transaction may carry love and support. But it may also carry confusion, jealousy, fatigue, fear, or even simply scattered thoughts. For highly sensitive souls like Libra, these interactions are not minor. They stick. And on days like August 31st, they don't just stick, they imprint. This is why rituals of stillness, solitude, and silence become so powerful now. The High Priestess, symbolically representing this threshold, reminds us that the greatest strength sometimes lies in restraint. She doesn't speak unless the moment requires it. She guards her temple with grace. And she knows that mystery itself is a form of protection. That is your guide right now, Libra, not the need to explain why you're withdrawing, but the ability to simply honor your process. There is something deeply empowering about this moment. In a world where everything is fast, touch-based, and open, you're being asked to walk differently, softly, yet firmly. To say no to contact not out of fear, but out of respect for what you've cultivated. That clarity, that healing, that inner order, it deserves to be sealed. Just as a seed needs to be buried in undisturbed soil to grow, your spiritual work needs this energetic quiet to root itself deeper before it can bloom. And maybe, in the busyness of life, you've forgotten how rare that is, to pause, not because you're tired, but because you're complete. Because you've done enough this month. Because you're ready for what comes next, and what comes next needs a clean container. Even Jesus, in his moments of deepest preparation, withdrew to quiet places. Not to avoid the world, but to prepare for his next assignment. That wasn't a retreat, it was a reset. You are in such a moment, Libra. Let no one reach in and stir what you've already stilled. Trust that those who love you will understand. And if they don't, let your boundaries be the prayer that teaches them how to love your growth. You are not being distant, you are becoming aligned. And alignment is sacred. It does not apologize. It simply is. Some people radiate light so effortlessly that others seek them out without even knowing why. And Libra, this is especially true for you. Your energy has the subtle, graceful magnetism of a mirror, not just any mirror, but a mirror that reflects others deeply, honestly, sometimes even more clearly than they can see themselves. You don't need to speak loudly to be noticed. You don't have to try hard to be felt. You simply are, and that presence alone becomes a container for the emotions, confusions, and longings of the world around you. But here's where the beauty becomes delicate, because what reflects also receives, and what receives must know when to release or risk becoming a vessel too full to carry its own clarity. During high-frequency periods like August 31st, when the planetary alignments sharpen and emotional fields are more exposed, your aura already luminous becomes even more attractive to those in energetic chaos. You might not realize it until later. A casual hug from a friend who's been feeling overwhelmed. A conversation that leaves you inexplicably tired. An encounter with someone envious, though they never say a word yet after they walk away, your self-worth feels shaken. These aren't accidents. They're energetic exchanges, unspoken transactions that leave their fingerprints on your inner clarity. The reason this matters so much now is because your energetic system is not just reactive, it's absorptive. Unlike other signs who can block, deflect, or release with more ease, Libra's field takes it in first. It processes by integrating, by empathizing, by making space. And this generous nature, when unguarded, becomes a double-edged sword. You become the healer and the holder, but also, unintentionally, the host. And even the strongest soul can be worn thin if they don't discern what truly belongs. Imagine wearing a white silk garment. It's elegant, soft, luminous, and extremely vulnerable to stain. One careless touch with muddy hands, and it leaves a mark that takes time to wash away. This is your energy field right now. Pure, reflective, spiritually fragrant, but easily marked by those who don't understand the sacredness of what you carry. And often, they don't mean harm. But their storm enters your calm, and their weight becomes your distraction. This is why learning to say no, even in small ways, is not selfish. It's sacred. Your ability to gently close the door, to pause the conversation, to avoid unnecessary contact during these final energetic hours of August is not a rejection of others, it's a reverence for your process. You don't owe access to everyone just because you shine. In fact, your very light is what demands deeper discernment. The wisdom behind this isn't new. Even in the simplest teachings of life, we're reminded that we become like those we sit with, touch, allow into our field. Not because we're weak, but because energy is real and highly transferable. When your own system is processing its final upgrades, taking on someone else's unresolved tension even in kindness can delay your own breakthrough. So this is a call to be soft but sovereign. Present, yet protected. Open, but only to what aligns. Think of this as your time to gently press your hands to your heart and say, "Not everything is mine to carry." That, in itself, is a holy act. You are not cutting people out. You are allowing yourself to stay clear so that what is coming for you in September arrives without distortion. And yes, sometimes the most powerful healing begins by simply knowing what not to absorb. Some exchanges don't happen in words. They happen in touch, in glances, in proximity moments so subtle we often dismiss them, yet so powerful they leave an imprint on our field. And Libra, as your energy becomes refined in these final days of August, the impact of even the most innocent contact multiplies. This isn't about paranoia or fear. It's about awareness. When your aura is this open, this luminous, this spiritually porous, you are not only radiating, you're also absorbing. And because of that, every touch becomes more than physical. It becomes an energetic transaction. There's a reason why this time matters. You're not only closing out a month, you're approaching a reset point for your destiny. Think of your energy right now as a coded blueprint being finalized. It's fragile in the way fresh ink is beautiful, full of potential, but easily smudged. Anyone you allow too close, anyone who enters your field unfiltered, carries with them a vibration. That vibration, even if unintentional, can interfere with what's being designed for you. A touch from someone burdened with anxiety can leave a fog in your clarity. A hug from someone harboring resentment can shift your sense of safety. Even well-meaning affection, when timed incorrectly, can leak confusion into your system. This is why, in energy work, we say, boundaries are not walls, they are gates with discernment. And right now, you are the gatekeeper of a sacred threshold. What you allow in today may affect what you are able to carry tomorrow. The law of attraction doesn't just respond to our thoughts, it mirrors the vibrations we hold, both consciously and unconsciously. So if you've been anchoring faith, peace, vision, but suddenly take in someone else's fear or doubt through a careless touch, that resonance can begin to speak louder than your own. And what's louder is what the universe responds to. Energetic clarity isn't just something you meditate on, it's something you protect in how you live, who you let near, and when. This doesn't mean isolating in fear. It means embodying your worth. It means understanding that access to you is sacred. Not everyone should get to touch the space that spirit has been refining within you. Especially not now. Especially not when so much is aligning beneath the surface. And Libra, you don't need to justify this. Your gentleness is your strength, but that doesn't mean you owe constant availability. You can say no softly, lovingly, but firmly. You can step back without guilt. You can choose to remain untouched, not because you are rejecting others, but because you are revering the moment you are in. Visual tools can support you during this energetic sealing. Wearing colors like ivory, cobalt blue, or soft lavender acts as a vibrational anchor. These shades are more than aesthetics, they are energetic companions. Ivory reminds your aura of its purity. Cobalt aligns with the frequency of protection. Lavender acts as a filter, soothing the field while keeping what isn't yours at bay. These subtle choices send signals to both your nervous system and your spiritual environment. I am safe, I am sovereign, and I honor my energy. Right now, being intentional is your superpower. What you say yes to, what you allow close, what you touch and what you refrain from all carry weight. Every choice reinforces the integrity of your field. And if you can hold that integrity a little longer just through this final portal of August, you'll find that September meets you with clearer opportunities, deeper peace, and a frequency that no longer bends to others, but boldly reflects your own. There's something sacred about preparation when you know you're approaching a threshold. Not the rushed kind of preparation that stems from fear or pressure, but the gentle, grounded kind, the kind that says, I honor what I've been through, and I honor where I'm going. That is the essence of what August 31st asks of you, Libra. It's not about doing something grand or elaborate. It's about approaching your own space, your body, your breath, your energy field with reverence. In this moment, you are being invited to seal in everything you've cultivated this month, to preserve the purity of your healing, and to walk into the next chapter as someone who knows what is sacred must be protected. This is why small rituals matter more than ever right now. Not because of superstition, but because they ground the unseen into the tangible. They give your spirit something to rest upon. When you step into a warm bath infused with oils like lavender, eucalyptus, or lemon, it's not just a sensory experience, it's a cleansing one. These natural essences vibrate at frequencies that calm your nervous system and loosen the energetic residue from others that you may still be carrying unknowingly. And it's not about erasing people or their energy, it's about calling yourself fully back home to your own frequency. Lighting a white candle in the early morning of August 31st may seem simple, but the intention behind it is everything. As the flame rises, so does your awareness. And as you speak softly, I protect my energy. I seal what has been healed. You're declaring your aura as a place of sovereignty. Not just a space where anything can walk in, but a space that now responds only to what aligns. Writing a prayer or affirmation with your non-dominant hand is more than a quirky tip. Energetically, it bypasses the structured, logical flow of the brain and taps into the intuitive side, the part of you that holds memory without explanation, faith without proof. It doesn't have to be poetic or perfect. Just honest. Your own words, written slowly, become a bridge between the internal and the eternal. Cleaning your home, especially corners and windows, may seem mundane. But energetically, clutter stagnates energy. Stale corners hold on to emotions that are ready to be released. When you move physical objects, you are also moving spiritual debris. And as light pours through a newly cleaned window, so too does clarity re-enter your inner world. The 9-minute meditation is not about duration but depth. The breathwork pattern: inhale for 3, hold for 6, exhale for 9 brings your body into harmonic rhythm. It mimics the sacred geometries found in nature, architecture, and divine timing. In numerology, the numbers 3, 6, and 9 are often seen as a spiritual code, a reminder of cycles, creation, and wholeness. When you breathe in those rhythms, you are not just calming the mind. You are syncing your life force with something much larger, much older, much wiser. There's a story I once heard about a woman who would sweep her floor every evening, not just to tidy, but to spiritually reset the space. She would whisper blessings with every motion. This corner is clear. This heart is open. This home is sacred. Her life was not extravagant, but it was steady. And somehow, miracles always seemed to find their way into her ordinary days. Perhaps that's the key. Not in striving, but in showing up with care, again and again. Let this be the spirit you carry into August 31st, Libra. You don't need dramatic changes, just small sacred steps. That's where the power is. Not in what the ritual looks like to others, but in what it does for the quiet within you. That's where divine momentum begins. Some of the most powerful transformations happen not when you push forward, but when you pause long enough to protect what's already in motion. Libra, this is one of those moments. There is a quiet kind of strength in choosing what to allow and what not to. On August 31st, your greatest act of spiritual authority may be your refusal to be touched, not because you are angry, disconnected, or afraid, but because you finally understand that your energy is not public property. And that understanding is a declaration. A gentle, unwavering no that speaks louder than explanation. There's a subtle illusion many empaths and peacemakers fall into, the belief that we must stay accessible, open, physically available to prove love or kindness. But in truth, when your soul is mid-conversion, mid-refinement, mid-rebirth, touch, presence, even conversation becomes a sacred contract. One that shouldn't be signed unless the energy is clean, conscious, and truly aligned. Refusing casual access doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. It means you trust the value of what's being built within you, even if no one else understands the architecture yet. This is not about becoming rigid. It's about becoming aligned. When you choose to stand in that space of sacred self-containment, you are telling life, I trust the timing. I trust the purification. I trust that what's growing inside me needs room to breathe. And believe me, it does. Like the final moments of clay in the kiln or the last few seconds before a photograph is fully developed, this part of the process is fragile, but it's also the most potent. Because this is where your inner life sets, and what sets becomes your new foundation. In energy medicine, this is called integration. In emotional therapy, we might call it anchoring. In physics, it's stabilization. But in the language of the soul, it's just this, honoring your evolution by not diluting it. That's what you're doing by saying no. You're not just protecting yourself from outer interference, you're reinforcing your inner clarity. You are letting your light simmer, deepen, and settle into its next form. And that stillness, that restraint, is not passive. It's powerful. It's natural to worry that people may misunderstand you during this phase. You may feel the pressure to explain why you need space, why you're not available, why even a hug feels like too much. But clarity does not always require a footnote. Let your energy speak what words cannot. And if that makes others uncomfortable, trust that the discomfort is theirs to process, not yours to resolve. This is not the time to shrink. This is the time to root. And Libra, here's what's beautiful. The more you hold your line calmly, lovingly, unapologetically, the faster the universe reshapes itself around your new frequency. That's when doors open. That's when the right people appear. That's when sustainable work finds you, healthy connections notice you, and money begins to flow without the static of compromise. It's not magic, it's resonance. Energy responds to coherence, and coherence requires boundaries. You were never meant to be the mirror for everyone else's identity. You are meant to be your own source of light, steady, radiant, and selective about who gets to stand in your warmth. The sun doesn't apologize for rising. And you don't need to apologize for glowing in a new direction. So when you choose to remain untouched on August 31st, know this, you're not withdrawing, you're rising. You're not being distant, you're anchoring your power. And the world will begin to reflect that back to you in the form of synchronicities, opportunities, and relationships that finally match the version of you that you were brave enough to protect. Libra, your quiet strength is your loudest affirmation. You don't need anyone's approval to protect your space, your light, or your spirit. You don't need to justify why you choose distance over disruption, solitude over overstimulation, or silence over noise, especially not during a sacred moment like August 31st. What you are doing now isn't isolation. It's energetic reverence. It's you claiming your soul's right to rest, reset, and be sealed before the next chapter unfolds. And when you say no calmly, lovingly, with full clarity, that no becomes a declaration to the universe, I value what's growing inside me. I honor what I've healed. I am not available for interference. This isn't about pushing others away. It's about drawing a circle of clarity around yourself so that when the next wave of opportunity arrives in September, you meet it whole, not fragmented. Can you feel that readiness within you? That quiet knowing that you're no longer available for the emotional weight that was never yours to carry? Now is the time to reflect. What are you choosing to protect today that you used to give away so easily? What energy are you preserving for yourself that used to be poured into everyone else? And more importantly, how will you carry that same wisdom into the coming days, weeks, and months? Your energy is not an open invitation, it is a sacred home. And you are the guardian of it. Everything you've done this month, all the emotional pruning, all the spiritual realignment, all the choices to rise instead of react, they weren't small. They were part of something larger. Something divine. You've been preparing for a shift, and that shift begins the moment you refuse to let anyone contaminate what you've cultivated. So take a moment now, Libra, to ground what you've heard and felt in this video. Write in the comments below, "My aura is sacred. I protect it with love and light. August 31st is my sacred seal." Let that be your commitment, your anchor, your reminder. And if you found resonance here, if something clicked or stirred within you, take a second to like this video, subscribe to Zodiac Whisper Tarot, and share this message with someone else who may need a reminder to protect what's most precious in them too. Let this be your invitation to walk into September not just wiser, but clearer. Not just healed, but whole. Because you, Libra, were never meant to be consumed by the world. You were meant to influence it with the strength of your balance, the beauty of your discernment, and the light you've dared to protect. Now ask yourself gently, who do I become when I stop absorbing and start embodying? And are you ready to meet that version of yourself in the sacred silence you've just chosen? I'll see you there.